Hi, this is Mel. I hope all of you are doing awesome. Today we're gonna do a story, and now this story is written by me and based on a true story. So the story name is Auntie Sova, and the moral or the learning from the story is it's a series of fate story, the fate that no one can change, and we come with our fate based on our karma, and it's written by some supreme divine, I guess, and we cannot change it no matter how much we try. So here's the story. When Uncle got married, Robbie was in college. It was his first year. Then the last 4 years went by. It was mixed with lots of hard work, fun, suffering, learning new things, and of course, learning to adjust with new people. After 4 years of college, Robbie came home to Kolkata for 2 months, or at least as long as it takes for him to find a job, his first job. In the meantime, a lot has changed. Robbie's sister got married, and Robbie's mom and dad were left alone in home because Robbie was the only son, and obviously sister left. But Robbie's father had his elderly mother who passed away in last 4 years as well. But his brother lived in US, so it was for Robbie's mom and dad to get his brother who's living abroad married, because that's what Robbie's grandma wanted. So uncle was living abroad and was living in US. So Robbie's mom and dad picked up the bride, and he didn't say anything, and he came just to get married in India, and he visited only for a month. After 1 month, he was gone back to US, and he could not take his new bride, man, but he justified because of immigration and a lot of legal papers had to be done. But at this time, he didn't discuss much, he just left. And then 4 years went by, and he did not take his bride. Uncle actually did not even wanted to get married, but Robbie's mom and dad insisted, sort of forced him to get married, because that was Robbie's grandma's last wish. So Robbie's dad had to fulfill that. And auntie, Robbie's new aunt, Shova Aunt, she was living with Robbie's mom and dad. They had a big house from the generations from Robbie's grandpa. So auntie was living in a house, and auntie only had her mother. Her dad passed away a long time ago, and her mother had quite a few other kids. So she couldn't really take her daughter again and again home. So Robbie's auntie stayed in her in-laws house, which was her house too technically. So Robbie came home and he met his aunt, and at first actually he was very shy. So in these 4 years, uncle never came back to visit his new bride. There was a talk in town that uncle had a girlfriend slash like engaged girlfriend who he wanted to marry in USA, but he knew that his brother and his wife, which is Robbie's mom and dad, and his mother, Robbie's grandma, would not agree to this. So he lived with that lady for 4 years, and then after his marriage he lived with her again 4 years. So mm, there was no chance for him to come back to get his wife because he was already living with this other girl. But as Robbie's parents thought that after marriage his uncle will change, and they got him married with a very beautiful woman, and she was very nice too. Mm, she was very talented, had a lot of talent. She could sing well. She used to do very beautiful, make very beautiful dresses. She was a dressmaker. So she spent most of her time mending clothes, making adjustments in clothes. That's how she kept herself busy, and housework, of course, and singing. She used to sing. So when Robbie came from college, he was shy, but then slowly he became good friend with his auntie, and they were about the same age. So all day when auntie worked, Robbie talked to her and he read her stories. They played games together, and then he went to deliver the clothes auntie made to her clients, and they went movies together, they went to eat outside together. They were like good friends, and auntie kind of found a new life when Robbie came. And before they knew, they were madly in love with each other, but they knew it was something, some sort of attachment, but they didn't give it a name as a love or anything. And then, of course, after all, she was his aunt. So then, luckily, after 2 months, Robbie really got a good job in Bangalore, so he had to leave. And he felt like as if his heart was going to stop due to the pain and sadness of leaving Auntie Sova, but he had to do it because this was a good job, and that's what he was educated for, to get a good job, and he was an engineer. So Robbie asked his mom that if she could bring Auntie to visit him sometimes. Mom said that yeah, she'll bring Auntie for a week or so from time to time as soon as Robbie goes to work and settles down. So Robbie went to work in Bangalore, and in last 4 years Auntie visited him about 8 times with mom, each time for a week or two, and Robbie really liked that. And but in this time, in this whole 8 or 10 years of time period, uncle never wrote or came to visit Sova Aunty. And Robbie's mom and dad many times talked to him over phone, wrote him letters, which most of the time he refused to answer. But then when he did answer that he cannot come and he cannot never take Sova Auntie to USA because he was already living with other lady and he was married with her, and he was in the process of getting his green card and citizenship, so he didn't want it to ruin any of those things. And together they already have a child, so there was no way that he could ever take Auntie to US. And he said that it wasn't his fault, as long his mom and dad forced him to marry someone he didn't want to marry, but he did it just for the family's sake. And he said he wasn't coming to take property, assets, or money. She could have all those things. What's going to be divided by Robbie's father and uncle between them, so she could have those things and live her life and do whatever she pleases with her life. So, but he wasn't going to come or give her a divorce or anything because he just wasn't going to come. So then Robbie's auntie kept herself busy on working because she was working as a dressmaker. And she was extremely sad to know the truth, but what choice did she have? Then, while as time came for Robbie to get married, Robbie's mom and dad started looking for beautiful a bride, but that time Robbie said that if he marries, then he will marry Auntie, so Auntie could have a better life, and if that's not possible, then he will just stay single, just like Auntie. So Robbie's mom and dad totally refused because they said that what will people say? This is not going to be accepted by our community, our village, and the people, and this is going to be shaming on us. So you cannot do that. So then he said, okay, then I will just not get married. And after some time, Robbie came and took Auntie, and they left, they flee, and then they got married in a temple without the parents' blessing or anything. And then while Robbie was working in Bangalore, Auntie was living with him, and they had a good life. But soon, Robbie had an opportunity to go abroad, so he went to US, and then he told Auntie slash his new bride that he will be back in 1 year. He's just going to learn few things, doing some work, some project, gain some experience, make a little bit money, and come back. And in the meantime, she can just proceed with her careers of dressmaking and mending. So she continued doing that, and first year was good. He would write letters and send money, but by second year the frequency of letter writing reduced, and third year it reduced more, fourth year it reduced more even. But Robbie never came back. And then 10 years later, Auntie was still waiting, and she got pretty old, but Robbie never came back. And then Auntie got to know that Robbie also found a girlfriend over there and decided not to come back. So basically, in Auntie's fate, there was no marriage, there was no family, but she tried it for the second time, and basically the same thing happened in the second time. So no one can change fate. Whatever is written on the fate, that is going to happen regardless of how much people try. No one can change fate. Now humans are like dolls with no power, and all the strings are actually in the hands of the God or the universe or the supreme divine, whoever. And so humans are they have to do whatever is in their karma. So Auntie was better off living alone, and marriage wasn't for her. So this was a story was about fate, and no one can change it. So I hope you like it. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, and share, and I'll see you with many more. Bye bye.